2 outs in this bottom of the 8th inning. And he popped it up. Lopez drifting back, and he dropped it. The Sox catch a break, and the game is tied. And then Benintendi sends it through the hole, and the Sox take their first lead of the night. On the ground, this could do it. Anderson will walk it over to first, and history will have to wait.
I don't know if I've ever won a game and had people pretty mad, but you got to make light of it. It's been a long year, but it's a good comeback win for us.
A great game, a strange game last night. The White Sox get a comeback win and avoid making history for now. We're back inside our NBC Sports Chicago studios. Chuck Arfon here with my TV partner, Ozzie Guillen, and Scott Podsednik. So fans are coming to the park to witness history. Some are, at least. But Ozzie, you say that they're going to be disappointed today and tomorrow.
They show up. You might see something nice. But, the way the game was last night, White Sox all 90 plus. After that,
they were 0-94, trailing after 7.
Yes, and it's like, wow, missing that way when the guy he's just not dropping, he just missed it. I have a good feeling about that. Go Detroit.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they're going to have to wait. Again, they're not going to see it tonight because of Davis Martin. I have him showing up tonight. That changeup's going to be working for him. White Sox offense is going to bust out.
All right.
They're scoring 4.
Make your reservations for Detroit, apparently.
No, don't go to Detroit, please. You want to spend your money? Spend it here in Chicago.
All right.
It's a better place to be.
Up next, Luis Robert Jr. reflects on a disappointing season, both for him and the team. Stay close. We're coming right back. White Sox, Angels on the way.
White Sox baseball on NBC Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Visit your local Chicagoland Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Illinois Lottery. Illinois is full of winners. Play today. Stream White Sox baseball from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. And by Wintrust, home of White Sox checking. Visit wintrust.com/Sox to open today.
Craig here pays too much for Verizon Wireless.
The biggest disappointments. Robert missed 2 months with a strained hip flexor, and his OPS plus went from 130 last year to now just 86 this year, well below league average. Robert spoke today about how this season has gone both for him and the team.
Ahí está el resultado. Todo el mundo sabe.
There's no way to describe this. I think you guys have seen the results. The record is there, and that is what it is. I think I finished the first half pretty good, but when the second half started, I wasn't able to get into my rhythm, and I have like 20 really bad games, and that really affected me, and then I couldn't rebound from that.
As the star of this team, do you feel a sense of responsibility for how things are going?
Sí, claro.
Yes, of course. You know, I see myself as one of the faces of this team, and when the faces of this team aren't producing or struggling, you know, you have season like this, and you know, and again, and that's on us, that's on me.
All right, first pitch between the White Sox and Angels is next. Davis Martin taking the mound against Jose Suarez. John and Steve are standing by for the call. We'll see you after the game.
Chicago is such a special place for me because Chicago was my home. I anchored here for 14 years, and we raised our kids here. You're a cute little one.
And now I'm raising my family here, and I get to report on the stories that matter most to our local community.
And when I'm out around the country or around the world, I still have ties to Chicago because I have roots here.
We have roots here.
Watch NBC.
Loads down that right field line, and the Sox now on the board. An RBI pinch hit double for the rookie Brian Ramos. 2 outs in this bottom of the 8th inning, and he popped it up, drifting back, and he dropped it. The Sox catch a break, and then Benintendi sends it through the hole, and the Sox take their first lead of the night, 3-2 in this 8th inning. History will have to wait.
The Angels opened the door, and the Sox stormed through.
Don't call it a comeback. Last night, the first win this season when trailing after the 7th inning, breaking an 0-94 streak. The Chicago White Sox looking to win this series against the Angels. This is game 2 of a 3-game series here at the Guaranteed Rate Field on the south side of Chicago. What's up, everybody? Welcome inside the booth alongside my partner. He is Steve Stone. I'm John Schriffen. All right, I'm not going to lie. Last night, it felt a little weird. There were boos, there were cheers, there was more media in the house than we've had all season. But in the end, the White Sox got the win and still stay tied with the 1962 Mets with 120 losses on the season. A big reason for that win, Andrew Benintendi.
Well, there's a lot of guys coming through, but Andrew has had a red-hot second half of this season. When you look at his first half and second half, you realize that this is the guy the Sox thought they were going to get. So since July 14th, spanning 58 games, hit 270, slugging percentage is good. Hit the ball out of the park 13 times, driving in 36 and scoring 29. And the pace, if he plays 153, 34 home runs, 95 driven in, and 77 scored. Those are more the numbers you'd expect from Benintendi. And you look at what happened early in this season. Hitting 192, slugging percentage nowhere, hard hit rate not good. But the last 58 games, everything has improved drastically, and hopefully he can carry it over into next year when the Sox will certainly need a guy that can put up those kind of numbers.
And there he is, White Sox left fielder Andrew Benintendi.
hoping to finish the season strong with 5 games left, including tonight in this regular season for the 2024 White Sox. We take a look at the lineup for the visiting Los Angeles Angels. Taylor Ward leads things off, leading the team with 25 home runs. Zach Neto, the rookie sensation at short. Nolan Shawnoel, Kevin Pillar, the former Sox, Logan O'Hoppe, he's got 20 home runs on the season. Wagman, Feist behind the plate, Campero, and Jack Lopez at second.
Davis Martin going to the mound, and he needs a little luck and he needs some runs. He's on for his 10th start, 11th appearance, looking for his first win with an ERA of 4 1/4. Look at the rest of the numbers. He's throwing pretty well. He just has been pitching in tough luck, and his Ford arsenal is this way. The 4-seam fastball, he leans on the most, backed up heavily by the slider. He will throw the change, which has gotten better. The change in the cutter, new additions, and he's thrown them great.
First pitch by Martin. Fastball pops the mitt, strike one, and a swing and a miss on Taylor Ward. Ward, who had a slow start to his season, said initially my goal was around 30 home runs coming into the season, but he has certainly picked it up. He's got his cues, his mechanics are locked in right now with 25 home runs. But it's been Davis Martin. 2 straight fastballs, 1 and 2.
There's also been something about the White Sox that Ward certainly likes, because he hits them pretty well, and last night he was on base 3 times. Let's take a look at the defense and how Grady Sizemore puts them out there tonight, with Andrew, Luis, and Dominic in the outfield left to right. Miguel, Jacob, Lenine, and Andrew in the infield. Corey Lee's got the plate, and Davis Martin, well, we told you about him.
Davis Martin, a guy who missed all of last year, coming back from Tommy John surgery on that right pitching elbow. Two. Changeup just missing. And full count to the leadoff hitter Taylor Ward.
Edwin Moscoso behind the plate, and correctly said that one missed.
Two. And ball 4 to Taylor Ward to start the game.
Edwin Moscoso behind the plate, call strikes 8% below major league average down to left-hand hitters, and call strikes 6% below major league average away to right-hand hitters. So he is very much a hitter's ump, and we'll see how it plays out tonight.
So Martin will face the 23-year-old shortstop Zach Neto. Plenty of pop in this lineup for the Angels. Taylor Ward, who's on first, has 25 home runs. Neto has 23. O'Hoppe in the 5-hole has 20.
Let's take a look at the weather, and it turned into just a gorgeous night. 69 degrees, the wind not much of a factor, 5 miles an hour. It's blowing in from left field, and no rain in sight, which is a welcome sight after last night.
It just tended to linger last night. An hour and 5-minute rain delay before we got underway last night.
Overwaiting was worth it, as it turned out.
0-2. White Sox have lost all of Davis Martin's 9 starts this season, but it has not been his fault. This one driven out to left field. Benintendi at the warning track will play it off the wall. His throw will come into second. That'll force Neto to go back to first as Ward advances to third.
This is a fine play by Benintendi in left field. The reason is he doesn't want to get trapped too close to the wall, and you have to play the carom. It's either out of the park or against the wall. When Andrew recognized that, he sets himself up and gets it into second base. No thought of third at all, leaving runners at the corners, and the double play still intact.
First baseman Nolan Shawnoel Had his 13-game hit streak snapped last night as he went 0 for 4. Over the course of that streak, over 13 games, he was hitting .370 with 9 runs batted in.
Neto with 30 stolen bases. He will run. He's been caught 8 times. Last time out, he was really good. And this was against these same Angels. Gave up 3 earned runs, 7 hits, couple of walks, and 4 strikeouts using 87 pitches. Unfortunately, he was not able to win that one.
It was a 5-0 loss out in Anaheim, and the first 9 starts of the season for Davis Martin. The White Sox offense have scored a total of 16 runs. Makes it tough on a starter.
Well, almost impossible, but they're thinking about getting to Suarez.
0-2. Many reasons for fans to tune into the game tonight. Some people are rooting for a loss. Some people are rooting for a win to not get the streak. Some people just want to see what's going forward into next season. And Davis Martin figures to be a big part of that as a guy who right now is competing for a starting rotation spot in 2025.
And I think we're going to have a lot of those guys. I'm looking at 7 likely candidates, at least getting consideration for the starting role. And it's going to be very competitive in spring training. Jonathan Cannon, one of those guys.
Big swing and a miss on that changeup. There's out number 1.
That's one of the added pitches for Davis Martin. Along with the cutter, he added both the change and the cutter, and he's a better pitcher because of that. It's a 3-finger grip. You see both the movement away and down, and he got him.
Neto faked the break at first. That got Corey Lee to pop up out of his stance. Want to know the count to the 4-hole hitter, Kevin Pillar. Started the season with the White Sox, and at 35 years old, put together a good season for the Angels. 8 home runs, 45 driven in.
He's grounded into 8 double plays, so it can be done. And the longer Neto hangs around first base, the more likely a ground ball in the infield is.
There goes Neto. Martin steps off, throws to second. They got him in a rundown. Got to watch the runner at third. Vaughn chasing, will throw it off. And the tag placed by Amaya as Ward stays at third base.
The Sox saw a lot of this. And now Ethan Katz has got his pitchers aware that runners will go while they're still holding the baseball. Ward at third base does not want to take off. He stays there, and the Sox get the out. 1 out away from getting out of the inning.
Officially scored 1-4-3-6. And it's 3-0 the count here to Kevin Pillar. Chris Getz spoke to the media yesterday and talked about the offseason and what it looks like for the White Sox, and obviously knowing that they need to address the offense. And he said there will be some chances to bring in guys in free agents. See, guys kind of like what they did with Kevin Pillar in this offseason. Veteran guys who know how to show the younger players what to do, how to be a big leaguer, and also make an impact.
Well, you're looking for the next Eric Fetty, and not necessarily as a pitcher, because there's some hitters out there that will be overlooked. And the Sox, I'm sure, will take a gamble on a couple of them. Nice stop by Corey Lee, because that one could have scored the run. He's able to smother it on the backhand and keep the runners where they are at the corners.
Fastball missing up. Ball 2 to the catcher. So this is the DH, excuse me, Logan O'Hoppe. O'Hoppe, the normal starting catcher, getting the DH tonight.
Years ago, I talked to a couple of really good catchers, Hall of Fame style catchers, and I asked them how many games could they catch a year and keep their strength, and they said 130, 135. That means you got to have a pretty good backup, and I think the Sox are headed that way. Edgar Caro is probably going to be in the major leagues sometime soon. He's a guy acquired in a trade, and of course Corey Lee has shown enough to be given the incumbency as far as the #1 catcher is concerned.
So the 3rd walk given up in this first inning by Davis Martin, and that'll load the bases with 2 outs.
And Ethan Katz's going to come out to try to settle him down. Davis's control has been really good. That's why this is the oddity. But if you're going to have this kind of command problems, pick a guy off first base, and you're at least 1 step closer to getting out of it. Only thing it will do, as we see, is 26 pitches. So it's going to raise that pitch count up, and then you wonder how long he can go.
So a lengthy conversation as Edwin Moscoso breaking it up. Martin will face the 3rd baseman Eric Wagaman, batting .250 on the season. Bases loaded, 2 outs in this first.
Davis got away with one. That was a cutter right down the middle, and Wagaman has swung the bat very well against the Sox. Hit a couple of hits last night, including an RBI double in the 7th inning.
Out into 3rd. Vargas looking to get out of this first inning. Will make the play to 2nd. And Davis Martin gets out of the bases loaded jam to start the game. For your Chicago White Sox, Miguel Vargas gets the start at the top, followed by Luis Robert Jr., Benintendi in the 3-hole. On at first base, Sosa, Ramos, Corey Lee behind the plate, Fletcher, and Jacob Miles at short.
We'll take a look at Jose Suarez, who's on for his 3rd start, 22nd appearance. He did not face our ball club in Anaheim. He did face Houston, however, went 5 innings, gave up an unearned run, so last time out he was pretty good. And his Ford Arsenal. The 4-seam fastball, he leans on heavily, backed up by the changeup. Will throw the occasional sweeper and slider.
This guy Jose Suarez, who has faced a ton of adversity this season, was DFA'd in June, sent down to AAA. but then recalled and his contract selected back on September the 9th. He said it gave him the confidence to be with this team, be in the bigs again. And his last 3 appearances, he has pitched very well for the Angels.
This is his second go-around this year, so he's sent down a couple of times and fought his way back both times.
So often we tell the stories about the stars in the big leagues and the guys making a lot of money, but the reality is there's a lot of guys like Jose Suarez out there bouncing around between the bigs and the minors, just trying to stay alive, keep their career going.
And a lot of these guys, they're never going to see a day in the major leagues. So when you see a guy in a major league uniform, you realize that he beat out a lot of other guys for that spot. And if his team had anybody better, they would probably be there instead of that guy.
2-2 here to Miguel Vargas as the fastball missing up and the count is full. Vargas getting a chance to hit leadoff again. We saw him hit leadoff a couple times on the West Coast. And swing and a miss on that changeup.
Let's take a look at the defense and how Ron Washington puts them out there tonight with Ward, Pilar, and Campero in the outfield left to right. Wagaman, Neto, Lopez, and Chanowell at first base. Matt Thaiss has got the plate. We told you about Jose Suarez. And this is a guy that I believe should lose his homerless streak in this game.
Ooh, I like that prediction. It's this one hard, but foul. He had some very strong words before the game, taking a lot of responsibility for the way this season has gone. He said, look, I'm the face of this franchise. And so he puts a lot of the blame on himself for where this White Sox team is at right now. Squigger, and that one will get past Chanowell at first base. Robert will ease up heading into second base. A 1-out double in this first inning.
Well, Luis is going to hit this guy for the simple reason that his fastball is just not fast enough to get inside. This time he gets a changeup, takes it right down the line. Chanowell can't get to it, and that's a good way to score the first run of the game with a runner in scoring position.
He said, I'll take it. That Sox double is brought to you by 007 Science, inventing the world of James Bond. Now an exhibit at the Griffin Museum of Science and Industry. Andrew Benintendi had a go-ahead run in the 8th inning, wasting no time, jumping on that first pitch, giving the White Sox a 3-2 win in the opener of this 3-game series last night. So we said it was kind of a bizarre game. Let's look at the win probability of that game. 1 out, bottom of the 9th inning, and that's when the White Sox rally happened, and then things changed.
Well, I sure liked the 100% toward the end there, but they were anticipating something good happening. This is what Adam Hammery saw. We'll look at from the side, and he went around a little too far.
Two here to Benintendi. You know, considering history was on the line last night and also again tonight, manager for the Angels, Ron Washington, was asked about it, just his experience being in the opposing team's dugout, and he said, you know, I heard the boos, I heard the cheers. He said, but that's part of being a fan, and he said that's the great part of Chicago, and he said there's so much history with this franchise. As Benintendi delivers that one into right. Robert Jr. had to hold, so he will go and stay up third, but Benintendi now calling a rundown and will be tagged out at second base.
Well, look, here's a great example of what happens if you hit the cutoff man. We've seen many times this year where the Sox overthrew the cutoff man, but if you hit him, things like this can happen. And that is Chanowell cutting down Benintendi as he got a little careless on the base paths. If you see the ball airmail the cutoff man, then you go. Outside that, you got to stay there, and Andrew decides he's going to fake him out. Didn't work, and it's an out.
So So 9-3-6 will get Benintendi trying to get to second. And there's 2 down with Robert Jr. on at third base in this first inning. Vaughn on the ground. Wagaman make the throw as the Sox strand the runner at third base. Last night, it looked like the Angels were going to take it until that 3-run comeback in the 8th inning. But the White Sox taking the opener last night, looking for another one here on the South Side. And now to the top of the second inning with 7, 8, 9 coming to the plate for the Angels. Davis Martin with 3 walks in that first inning. Going to find his control here in the second.
He's also trying to put together a low pitch inning, which would really help because he's sitting there on the precipice of third.
It was interesting. He talked about just what it feels like now after his last start. He said it almost feels like I'm heading into the All-Star break. It's coming off of that injury. Got his first start halfway through the season. He said mentally, physically, I feel like I'm just starting to hit my stride, and then I'm going to have to shut it down pretty soon.
Well, if you're fortunate, they'll allow you to hang around the team when you're on the injured list because you kind of get estranged from a team if you're not there with them going through the battles. And I'm sure just about everybody would like to rehab in a major league facility. Sometimes, of course, they send them to Arizona where there is a major league facility down there to rehab. But staying around the team is invaluable because you feel a part of it. When you divorce yourself from the team, you're no longer a part of it.
And he said it was tough rehabbing. He said because he had the kind of Tommy John that was so serious that he had to be in that full brace. So full 6 months in a brace. And he said your mind starts to wander when you're not around your guys, you're not around your team, trying to keep it busy and focused. 3-2.
Well, there's a couple of things I'm pretty sure is on the mind of most pitchers when they have Tommy John. One is what's going to happen when you go to straighten your arm out after 6 months. That's problematic. And the other is what kind of stuff will you come back with? And in the case of Davis Martin, he actually came back with better stuff than he had before the surgery.
In on the hands, popped up. Amaya. And there's out number 1 here in the second inning. Time to take a look at some of the news and notes from around Major League Baseball. The Houston Astros won their 4th straight AL West title. It is incredible. They were 10 games back on June 18th.
Yeah, I mean, they know how to win, and they show it to you each and every year. And the Orioles clinch a postseason berth. They beat the Yankees. They got a 4-game lead for the top spot in the wild card.
team also still in contention, the Tigers. And what's interesting is that Garrett Crochet was actually supposed to pitch here in this series against the Angels. But the White Sox deciding to push him back to that final series of the regular season against the Tigers. As Grady Sizemore said today, he said, you know what? It's good for baseball. They're divisional rival. They are trying to make the playoffs. We want to throw our best against them and try to play the spoiler role.
And that really is a tradition of baseball. You play your best against the teams that are still in competition. And with the Tigers doing what they're doing, which is seemingly winning each and every day, they're right in the thick of this thing. And those 3 games that end the season are going to be 3 meaningful games.
Right fielder Gustavo Campero in the hole, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He swung the bat pretty well against our guys in Southern California.
Just getting a piece of that change. How about the Padres? We just saw them on the West Coast. How about an end to this one with a triple play? That's one way to clinch the playoffs.
Well, especially with Ohtani in the on-deck circle, because if you only get 1, he's going to come to bat with 2 on. You get 3, you see him tomorrow.
Strikeout number 2 for Davis Martin coming on that changeup. And here's the 9-0 hitter, Jack Lopez. Here's how the game changed last night. Bottom of the 8th inning, pop up, and Lopez, the wind just ate it up.
I mean, it's difficult. He hasn't been in this ballpark, I don't believe. And when you're here for the first time, you just don't know which way the wind is going to carry it. And he hit his first major league home run last night. So it was a tale of 1 at bat and 1 defensive lull.
His manager, Ron Washington, said he got that home run ball back, but then when we saw him in the clubhouse, people had to kind of ease him and calm him down because he was very distraught, feeling like he cost his team that game. And he said, I'm sure if 99 balls are hit that way, he would make that catch 99 times.
It's just one of those things, and there's nothing you can do about it. But one of the things we saw last night was that slider. He's not going to hit that because he's having a hard time laying off it, and he's missing it by plenty. So another one would look awfully good here.
Look at that. Steve Stone dialed it up.
Out of the inning. Bye-bye.
Your Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, one of the top mortgage lenders in the country. Steve Stone, are you thinking about buying a home?
Oh, I sure am.
Wondering how you can pay less each month?
I wonder every day.
Trying to find the right insurance coverage.
Looking high and low.
All that and more answered at rate.com. Bottom of the 2nd inning we go. No score here on the south side of Chicago. Needs Sosa, a rocket past Wagaman at third. He will take the big turn, head to second, as Ward will get it back into the infield. Juan Sosa, he is not waiting around at the plate anymore.
No, if there's any doubt that he's going to be given serious consideration next year, he's put that to rest, because he is squaring up just about every at bat these days. That's by Wagaman before he had a chance to even get his glove down. And a promising way to start the second as Suarez is having some big trouble.
There's Brian Ramos. Brian Ramos was the pinch hitter last night in that 8th inning, hit his first career pinch hit, as Brandon Drury will be the new first baseman. He replaces Nolan Schanuel. That was when he was at the plate in that first inning, fouled a pitch off of his leg. So one out here in the second. Let's take a trip down on the farm. And congratulations are in order for the AA Birmingham Barons, Southern League champions for the first time since 2013. And it was an impressive fashion. Walk-off in the 10th.
No,
DJ Gladney.
That's really exciting. You take a look at how excited those guys are.
Corey Lee sends this one deep to left field, and it is gone! Cue the fireworks as Corey Lee hits his 12th home run of the season, and the Sox get on the board first, taking a 2-0 lead in the second inning.
12 and 35 on the power numbers, and Corey Lee is starting to heat it up. Suarez having all kinds of problems tonight. He's given up 4 hits in the early going, and the Sox have a 2-run lead, looking for more.
Corey Lee had a home run out in San Diego. Now here at home. And he talked about how he has established himself as the everyday catcher of the White Sox heading forward into next season.
Well, we just think back to what he looked like at the end of last year and what we're seeing this year, and it's massive improvement.
Really every level, too. At the plate, he's more confident. But where he really takes his pride is what he does with this pitching staff and how he handles them.
He's a more competent leader, and that's not something you come around easily. Now, granted, he learned a lot from Martin Maldonado, who really helped him in his time here, and that's one of the reasons why they signed Martin. They realized what they had in Corey Lee, the athleticism, the speed, and the power, and they brought in a guy who knew exactly how to get the best out of him. And Corey's going to be able to benefit from that throughout his career. That early foundation that is laid by a veteran player who's been doing this a long time can impart to the youngsters how he wants them to work.
Off the end of the bat, Wagaman drifting into left field, and he will make the catch, avoiding the left fielder Ward. Let's go back to that home run by Corey Lee.
Ford home run replay. This looked like a backdoor slider that really didn't slide too much, and Corey just takes it out of the park. So Ford is very happy. Corey's ecstatic, and the Sox have that early lead.
I know the fan base is very split on just kind of how they want this rest of the season to play out, but being around this team every day for this entire season, there's a lot of pride when you see how much they are still fighting with 120 losses on this season.
And there's another factor that is a subtlety, but you have to look at it because it epitomizes what this team has tried to do this year.
Maya in the air to right field down the line. And that one will hit the net out of play.
And this aspect of the game is a credit to Grady Sizemore and his staff. It was put together late in the year. They brought in some guys. They brought up some guys. And everybody on this team is hustling. That's the most amazing part of this, because usually when you see a team go into a spell like the Sox have been in, you expect a whole lot of guys just not giving you everything they have. That is not the case with this ball club. They have given Grady and his staff everything that they have.
Two outs in this bottom of the second inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Amaya. Fouls off another. And Grady has talked a lot about that, and basically saying we don't think about that number. It's not something that really impacts how we go about our day on a day-to-day basis. He said really that's not even our motivator heading into the offseason. Fly ball right field. And Campero will put an end to this second inning. Jonathan Cannon will be on the mic from the dugout coming up when we come back here to the Ravens. In rookie pitcher Jonathan Cannon. And Jonathan, you got the start last night. It was an impressive outing, tying a career high 7 strikeouts. Take us through what was working for you last night on the mound.
Yeah, you know, I thought I had a really good command of the off speed yesterday, and last time against these guys last week, threw them a lot of fastballs, a lot of sinkers, a lot of cutters, and yesterday I thought the changeup and sweeper were really good for me.
How are you different right now than you were, let's say, in your first 2 major league starts, when here you are, here's the baseball, you're in the big league, son?
You know, I think when I first came up, it was just kind of like feeling my way around, trying to figure out what worked. And, you know, it's definitely just a learning experience. It's something that you just got to go out and do. And that was what I was able to do my first time up. Obviously went down, able to work on the things I needed to work on, and then come back up here and kind of put all that to use.
When you say work on the things you needed to work on, what were some of those things that helped you get back on track?
I think the changeup was the big thing. Changeup was not great the first time I came up, and was able to go back down, work on some new grips, and really kind of iron that out. I was ready for that one.
Oh, we saw you. You're all over it. Watching the camera, watching the ball. Nice job.
What has Ethan Katz meant to you as your pitching coach?
He's been great, you know, just on like a week-to-week basis, talking things over, and really with the preparation of everything too. You know, he's got a very analytical mind, and I think my brain works in a very similar way. So I think we're very compatible that way, and able just to kind of simplify the more difficult topics that we got to work on, just when it comes to pitch design and working on pitches week to week.
I know the starting staff is very close as Davis Martin gets a strikeout here in this 3rd inning. Did you tell anything to Davis Martin about this start, about the Angels lineup that you've seen now twice in the last week?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of all talked through our outings and what was working and what wasn't. And we had the benefit of facing these guys last week, so it makes the scouting report meeting before the game a little bit easier because we can just go over the film from last week and see what they were trying to do on us and really have a good plan going in of how we want to attack these guys.
I know you're going to work on a few things this coming spring training. If you have one thing to work on, what would it be?
I think the biggest thing that I need to work on is just some of the off-speed commands still. I think that I do a good job of getting ahead of guys and throwing the off-speed in the zone early, but I think it's that 2-strike command that'll take me to the next level. I think I have too many big misses sometimes, and that kind of leads guys back into counts where I could finish them off with a strikeout. Instead, it goes 2-2, 3-2, have to waste some extra pitches. So I think that's really going to be the biggest step forward for me this offseason.
You're kind of known as the guy who breaks the streaks. You're on the mound for that big 21-game losing streak and a few more. What has this season been like for you? Obviously, first year in the bigs, fighting your way, but also with what the Sox are going through this year.
You know, I think it really has been a lot of learning experiences. I've learned a lot from just being around this starting rotation all year, including Fetty, who's gone. Just able to pick these guys' brains on a daily basis, develop great relationships with them moving forward. And really just kind of learn how to be a professional. It's tough in the environment that this has been this year, just with everything that's been going on, the losing and whatnot. But to be able to come to the park every day, get our work in, try and get better, and just keep preparing to win the next game.
It has been impressive and very fun to watch you here in your rookie season. Jonathan Cannon, thanks for joining us.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Very thoughtful young pitcher.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be real good. He's good now. I think he's going to be a lot better, and he has learned a lot. The big leagues has a lot to teach you, and the only way to learn it is to go through it, and he's been able to do that and looking like he's getting better just about with every outing.
And he said it. I mean, super smart when you have people who have been there before you pick their brain. On the ground and hopping over it, Adrian Amari, the third base umpire. Fair ball. So a double for Zach Neto, 34th of the season.
Here's a slider that kind of stays in the middle of the plate. Neto takes it right down the line. Miguel had no chance. And it's a 2-base hit with 1 out here in the 3rd.
So this would have been the spot for Nolan Shawnuel. Fouled off a pitch off his leg in that first inning. He has left the game with what they're calling a lower right leg contusion.
Brandon Drury was a DH when we played this team in Anaheim.
So Drury, who has gone in to play first, this is his first at bat of the night.
He's always been able to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's one of the reasons why he is still around.
All right, so this is what happened to Shawnuel back in that first inning.
Just below his right knee. You probably want to take a look at that, maybe get some ice on it and make sure that the swelling doesn't bother him.
And a 4-pitch walk to Drury. So the walks have been an issue tonight for Davis Martin. 3 in the first, and now 1 here in this 3rd inning. Kevin Pillar is one of those guys who is just savoring every moment he still has left here on the big league field, as he will fly out to center for out number 2.
Bagels and deli meats run deep in Chicago, and 2 new shops are taking one suburb by storm. From matzo ball soup and house-made pastrami to hand-rolled wood-fired bagels, the food guy shares his top picks. That's tomorrow at 10 on NBC5 Chicago.
Okay, you know I grew up in New York City, and
Yeah.
you know I love a good Jewish deli. I went to Manny's for the first time this week. That was on point.
Well, I've been there a number of times myself, and it's pretty good.
Corned beef, pastrami. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, see, you can eat a whole corned beef sandwich now. I gotta take some home with me.
They give you enough that you can.
They do that.
So 2 on, 2 out. That changeup gets a swing and a miss. Strike 1 to Logan O'Hoppe. Stepping off, and Vargas will get the lead runner once again. The Angels running themselves into an out as Davis Martin was alert, and will end this top of the 3rd.
Well, that's twice they tried, and twice they've been unsuccessful. So the boys are certainly shoring up that part of the defense.
Fan cam as we take a look around the rate in the crowd. Another good crowd here for this Wednesday night, second to last home game of the season. Temperatures dipping, starting to get a little chilly around here in Chicago.
There's fall in the air.
There's still nothing like summertime shy. When the sun is out, mid-80s, people enjoying the river, outdoor cafe.
Yeah, usually the 4 days we have of that are really nice. But this year, actually, there were a few more than that. But we did have a lot of rain this year.
I got out there and enjoyed it. It is time for moments that never get old. Old National Bank get old. On this day back in 2015, the White Sox beat the Yankees 5-2 in New York. Carlos Rodon went 6 innings, allowing just 2 runs to get the win. David Robertson closed it out for his 32nd save. Now Mike Holt and Gordon Beckham each hit solo home runs off CC Sabathia. It was the franchise's 9,000th win in history. Luis Robert Jr. also saying today before the game that despite having a season like this, just not for himself, collectively as a team with all the losses, he said it doesn't define who we are as people, and we're not going to let it. He said just 1 year, it doesn't make who you are as a player, and we're all going to move forward and move past this. And it's going to be the offseason individually that we're working on, and that's how we motivate ourselves. Thank you, Sox fans. Join us for our final home game tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Enjoy surprise giveaways, $10 select lower level tickets, $10 parking, and a select $5 concession menu. Plus, check out our end of the year retail sale for amazing deals. For more information, visit whitesox.com/thankyou. Came on the air saying how I thought last night was just kind of bizarre, the feeling, because there's so many fans who don't really know how to feel right now. And there's no right or wrong answer, right? If you're upset, very well justified. If you're happy to see their team win, obviously you want your team to win, but it's just kind of one of those years where it's fly ball, deep center field, and Pilar will make the catch at the warning track. Sox are tied in order in the third, but holding on to a 2-0 lead. Emilio's Pizza for their support all season long of White Sox baseball on NBC Sports Chicago, and especially for them providing, oh, look how good that was, the crew with pizza wings before tonight's game on the final night game of the season. Aurelio's Pizza, thank you very much. Can never go wrong with pizza and wings.
No, very saucy it looked like to me.
Hoppy pops it up to the right side. Vaughn with the catch for the first out in this fourth inning. As Davis Martin threw 70 pitches, has a 2-0 lead.
Well, hopefully he can keep the pitch count down because he's really scuffled through some tough innings. The first was tough. The third would have been a lot tougher without the base running. But you've gotten through the tough part. Now you'd like to see a few more innings.
One pitch, a fly ball to right field. And there's 2 quick outs here in this fourth inning. Time now for a message from Powering Chicago.
At Powering Chicago, we build more than electrical infrastructure. We build the future. Our trained, qualified, diverse workforce knows electricity. Partner with Powering Chicago and build better construction, better careers, and better communities for generations to come.
Well, you asked for a quick inning. This would be really quick. If Davis Martin can retire Matt Theis in minimal pitches here. Theis, the catcher, 0 for 1. Martin, even though he's given up 4 walks, has not been scored on because he's only given up 2 hits so far.
Both of those hits to Neto, the 2-hitter, and he's been taken off base twice.
Two balls and a strike. As the fastball just missing up and in. It's 3-1.
That is 5 walks issued by Davis Martin. And remarkably, there's still a goose egg in the scoring column for the Angels.
When you think about 1 week left here in this regular season, as a former starting pitcher in the big leagues, what would your offseason be like? How much time would you take off before you start throwing again and getting ready for spring training?
You know, it's so different now than it was in the dark ages of baseball, which was just when I played. But someone gets away. We'll see if it is a pass ball or a wild pitch. It was a breaking ball inside. Take another look at it. That one dipping inside, and we'll see what the official score said. It is a pass ball. But now, John, they give you detailed workouts they want you to go through, and they tell you about nutrition and your weight training that you do individually. So each guy is directed on what they want to accomplish with him in the wintertime, which is completely different. They used to send you home with an apple and say, have a good winter.
There's also so many pitching labs that have popped up across the country that a lot of teams are working with individual pitching coaches on the side to kind of come up with that program.
Well, and another factor also is that players actually had to work.
Ooh, that one with Plunk, Campero.
Looks like a high cutter that got him right on the side of the bicep. Might have had a little piece of the padding, but it had more of him. Michael Soroka getting loosened up in the pen. But a lot of people, you know, when they hear now that a minimum salary is $750,000 or somewhere in that area, they forget that there was a time, and it wasn't exactly the dark ages, where baseball players actually had to work in the off season, because my first salary in the major leagues was $13,500. I spent most of the year there. My second salary was $16,000. Then I came to the White Sox and got really rich. I made $22,500 here in my third year in the major leagues with the White Sox.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, so you know, when you take out everything that you take out after that, you realize that if you have a family especially, that you need to do something. You need to find some work, and a lot of major league players worked at different jobs in the off season.
What was your coolest off-season job?
Selling prepaid funerals.
Please tell me you're kidding.
No, I'm very serious. Yeah, it was interesting. Didn't last long, by the way. I had a hard time telling people, you know, you don't look well. Why don't you come join us here for this plan? You can lock this in. I know you're 15, but you can lock this in for many years down the road. Yeah, that was an interesting one.
I have so many questions that I don't even know if we have time for with 2 outs. How did you even get involved in that?
Saw an ad in the paper. I mean, in those days, you really didn't know anybody. And I was living in Phoenix, saw an ad in the paper, and it didn't really say what it was. It just gave you a number you could make a month. And I thought, well, that's good. Didn't know exactly what you were going to do to get it.
On the ground to the right side, Sosa ranging. And he will throw behind the runner at third. Thankfully, Vargas getting in front to knock it down.
Well, this is a good play by Miguel, and the reason being that Davis Martin couldn't back up the play. You don't know where the throws are coming from, and when the ball's hit to the right side, you don't think about backing up third. But he sprinted over there, got in the best position he could get in, and on the throw back, Vargas was able to make the stop, and that's going to be it for Davis Martin. With the bases loaded, and more importantly, at 85 pitches, he will leave the ball game. So he'll walk out, we'll step out, and we'll be back with Michael Soroka. Time now for the Lakeside Bank call to the pen. For the best lineup in banking, see Lakeside Bank at Halsted and Pershing, where every client has their own banker. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. And Michael Soroka comes out for the 24th time, ERA a touch over 5. So he inherits the bases loaded. Trying to get out of this inning. 1 out to get.
Michael Soroka, this will be his 3rd appearance since coming off of the injured list and making the rehab appearances in AAA.
How about that note? 7 of 8 hitters retired with the bases loaded. 7, 8 of 9.
2 runs will score as Taylor Ward ties this ball game with a 2 RBI single in this 4th inning.
That's 74 driven in by Ward, and he got this high fastball and just dumped it into right center field. So he hits it off the end of the bat, but he hits it hard enough to drop it in front of Luis, and just like that, it's a tie game.
Zach Neto is 2 for 2 today. That's a fastball up and in, ball 1. Something we have seen, though, from Michael Soroka is that since going from a starter to the bullpen, his velocity has actually increased in his last outing. We saw him in San Diego. He got it up to 97. He said it feels good to just kind of get out there and just let it rip, knowing that you don't have to save anything, just let it all go out.
Well, in his earlier days, he was one of the stars of the Atlanta Braves rotation. Then some physical problems curtailed that, but now trying to fight his way back.
They got that good slider. Back-to-back strikes for Soroka. This is a bullpen who has had to work a lot this season. As you see, the bullpen now taking over in this 4th inning. Check on Ward at first. Tonight's relief stats are presented by Rolaids as we check out the White Sox bullpen since September the 3rd. And they have been really good. When you look at their ERA before the 3rd and after, pretty big difference.
Yeah, the pen has been very good, and hopefully more of the same here tonight.
There's that slider as Soroka gets the strikeout. All tied at 2 apiece. We head to the bottom of the 4th.
By the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. You can find energy and cost savings from your business with a free facility assessment from ComEd. Learn more at ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
Andrew Vaughn will start off this bottom of the 4th for the White Sox with 4, 5, 6 coming to the plate against Jose Suarez. Of the 4 hits off Suarez tonight have been for extra bases. 2 doubles, a 2-run home run by Corey Lee. One count here to Vaughn. On the ground, ranging in the hole, Neto. And Vaughn, who is off the bag, they said he's out of the baseline and he will be out.
Neto got rid of it very quickly, and the throw was not exactly on the market. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam, and we'll see a good play ranging to his right. The throw is off target. However, Andrew's running out of room to be able to dodge around the throw.
There's one thing for sure, a team managed by Ron Washington, his infielders will know how to play some ball.
He's very good at that.
Still one of the best defensive coaches around, as the manager of this squad loves to still be hands-on with his guys. He was actually very busy today, so I was waiting in the dugout for his scheduled media time, and he was running a little late because he's doing player meetings right now with every single guy on his team. And he said right now he's talking to every player to try to make sure they finish the season strong, set goals for the offseason and into spring training.
Well, you certainly want to do exit interviews, and this probably isn't quite as extensive as a regular exit interview, but you want to find out what players liked about what was going on, what they didn't like, where they think we can improve, and how we're going to do that. And you learn a lot because the players who've been around a while especially are pretty smart about how they're handled and how they think they should be handled and how the team should be handled. Now, you're not going to take everything they say and use it, but you're going to gain a lot of information by doing that.
There's also enough veteran guys on this Angels team who have been around some other teams who can understand just kind of what they like seeing around other organizations, what works, what doesn't.
Well, certainly Kevin Pillar has been around with a number of different teams.
One-two here to Lenin Sosa. Sosa high in the air to left field, and that one is out of here. Lenin living the dream. Sosa, his 7th home run of the season. What a tear he is on to end this regular season as the Sox take a 3-2 lead in the 4th.
7 home runs, now 30 driven in, and there's one guy that is going to hate to see this season end, and that's Lenin Sosa, who was doing just about everything right for the better part of the last month. I mean, he's squaring up everything. When you make a mistake to him these days, he's going to hit it hard.
That's about the biggest smile I've seen from Sosa all season long.
We'll take another look. That looks like a change, and our Ford home run replay shows it swirling out of the ballpark. Brings the hands in a little bit.
High throw from Neto, and does Drury. Yes, he gets back on the bag for the out at first base.
Well, they're going to want to take another look at this. This is close. He's safe, and they're going to overturn this call. Step on the bag before he gets down, and Neto's lackadaisical throw from shortstop cost him an error because he had plenty of time to make the throw. He flipped it over there instead of throwing it, and it's high and pulls Drury off the bag.
So Grady Sizemore has challenged the call on the field, as the original call was out at first base.
Neto's going to commit his 18th error here. That's far and away going to lead this club in that dubious department.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. Chicago will retain their challenge.
So pretty quick on that review as it's overturned, and now E6 on Neto. Corey Lee with a 2-run home run in his first at bat tonight in the 2nd. Check on Ramos over at first base.
Time now for tonight's Miller moment, and it comes off the bat of a young catcher that looks like he's going to leave his mark on this game. So Corey Lee hits one out, gives the Sox a 2-0 lead at the time. They now lead 3-2.
So 2 home runs tonight by the Sox. As Corey Lee looking to make some more damage. 1 out in this bottom of the 4th inning. Does use his time with the count at 2-2. Just missing. Good take by Corey Lee.
Good call by Edwin Moscoso, because that one didn't miss by much, but he did miss.
Here's the payoff from Suarez. Ramos going. The throw down to second. It doesn't matter as it's ball 4.
Now they're coming out to have a word with Suarez, meaning he's probably going to stay in the game. Lefty-lefty advantage with Dominic Fletcher coming up. Barry Enright going out there to have a word.
Since Suarez had his contract selected on September 9th, he went 3 innings to get a save. Then the next outing was September 13th, went 4 innings in relief. And then September 9th, a start, he only went 5 innings. So let's see how deep he will go into the game here tonight with 1 out in this 4th. So much that can happen in this offseason for the Sox. Dominic Fletcher is one of those guys where they feel like they want him to be a part of the future. Not sure where, at what position in the outfield. So this last week of the season, very important for him as well.
Well, he's certainly shown he can play the outfield at all 3 positions. That's not a factor. But defensively, he's just about as good as anybody around.
Ramos at second. Corey Lee's on at first with 1 out. Another good take. Fletcher heading the count now 3-0.
We told you before the game that Edwin Moscoso is a hitter's up. And he's calling some pitches that they're out of the zone. They're very close, but they're not strikes.
And a 4-pitch walk will load the bases in this 4th inning.
.64 pitches for Suarez, and Ron Washington sitting right there at the end of the bench.
So a violation on Jake Amaya was not in the box in time. So he will start with an 0-1 count. Baez, another guy, a late addition to the team this season, has showed what he can do with his glove. And this is the part of the game where he knows he wants to step up. Fly ball to right field. And Campero making the catch. So all the runners will stay put.
Ryan Miller throwing in the pen. And if Suarez does not get Vargas, he won't be around to face Robert.
Vargas attacking the first one. Slams his bat after he pops it up. As the Sox leave the bases loaded in this fourth inning. And it's time now for some American Sale fun at home.
You're gonna hear me roar.
Alongside Steve Stone, John Schriffen, we appreciate you joining us here on this Wednesday night. Final homestand of the season. And the Sox, another good effort, a 3-2 lead as we head to this fifth inning.
And hopefully the pitching gets a little tighter. Right now the offense looking a little better than they have looked, and hopefully they can continue throughout this game as Michael Soroka now has this game squarely in his hands. It's his at this point to win or lose.
Brandon Drury broke his bat on that one as he tosses it aside. Hey, if you're just joining us, let's get you caught up on what you've missed so far. Corey Lee with a 2-run home run in the second inning, giving the Sox a 2-0 lead.
And unfortunately, the Angels tie it at 2 with this opposite field base hit.
Lenyn Sosa, a solo home run in the fourth inning, making it 3-2. And that's where we stand right now in this fifth inning. That Get Caught Up is brought to you by Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, the nation's #1 rehabilitation hospital since 1991. Choose the best.
Well, in some of the bigger games, Detroit is leading Tampa Bay 5-1. That game in the top of the 8th in Detroit. And they are playing by far their best baseball of the year.
How loud do you think it's going to be in Detroit, that final series of the season, knowing they need those games to make the playoffs?
But also going after positioning, because right now they hold their destiny in their own hands. They keep winning. Nobody can take that away from them.
Sox can play the spoiler role. So Pilar thought he struck out, took the long walk, but there's only 2 strikes, so he's back in the box. So 2-2 now the count. There is indeed now strike 3, this time looking.
Xfinity keeps White Sox fans in the zone with the fastest speeds and connection you can rely on in the biggest moments. Stream live sports from the best seats in the house. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff.
We talked about how good the bullpen has been so far this month of September for the White Sox, and Michael Soroka, when I talked to him recently, he said, you know, he really has to thank some of the veteran pitchers who were in that bullpen who are no longer with this team, guys like John Brebbia, guys like Dominic Leone. He said, when we were at our lowest points this season, those were the guys who were getting everyone together, taking us out to dinner, and putting down their credit card. They were paying for everybody else, knowing that they were making the most money coming out of the bullpen. And he said, you really need guys like that on a team, especially when things are not going well, to keep everyone together collectively. And he said that's why the bullpen has been such a tight unit this season.
It's really been amazing, and that's the entire team. How well they've held together through all of this adversity, and there's been a bunch of it.
Two outs in this top of the 5th as Soroka is looking to set down the Angels in order. 2-2. Oh, that slide piece is working. Look at the AL Central, little AL Central focus. And you talk about the Detroit game, 5-1 lead in the bottom of the 9th. The Royals game just went final, a 3-0 win over the Nationals.
And Minnesota losing 3-0 at one point has battled back, and they're on the verge of really having a disappointing year. If they can't make it, that's why every win for them is very important.
Robert Jr. swinging at the first pitch here in this bottom of the 5th. And there's one away. Let's go to the studio and check in with our guys, Chuck, Ozzie, and Scott. Oh, my guy Ozzie. I like that. There's certainly been a little bump in the attendance here at the ballpark, with a lot of fans coming, potentially to see history. Off the end of the bat, slow roller to short. Neto circling around it. And there's out number 2.
Well, you know, Detroit's been around a long time, so there is a lot of history associated with the Detroit Tigers. I would love to see a couple of wins here, and all the folks that want to see that 121, let them head to Detroit.
The White Sox have not won more than 4 in a row this season. To avoid the record, they would need to win 6 in a row to close out the regular season, including the win last night.
Well, look, we both know that stranger things have happened. Not much stranger, but stranger things for sure.
I didn't know that there were this many ways to lose a ball game, and there's been some weird ones this year.
It's been a most unusual season in a lot of different ways. Some guys have used this actually to thrive. Some guys have gotten considerably better from the start of this season till where we're at now.
Remember that infield fly rule? Interference, double play when the White Sox were making a comeback in the bottom of the 9th inning here?
Yeah,
I think that was the weirdest one.
There's been lots and lots.
Strike 3 swinging on that changeup, and the Sox retired in order in this 5th inning. Sox fans, there is still time to win one-of-a-kind experiences this season. Enter the Ultimate Fan Sweepstakes for a chance to win 2025 season tickets. September's winner will receive a 20-game plan for the 2025 season, inclusive of 4 tickets to weekend games. You get the best seats and all the benefits in 2025. To enter, visit whitesox.com/sweepstakes. Eric Wagaman will line this one down that left field line and just foul.
Well, that one didn't miss by much. Adam Hammery on the call. Couple inches foul, which is all it really needed.
Wagaman's been good for the Angels. This is just his 14th game since being called up and making his debut on September 10th. Where he has 4 multi-hit games, 2 of them where he had 3 hits in a game. For a guy who spent so many years in the minors, making his big league debut this season at 27. Trying to make the most of these last few games in this regular season.
Well, he's looked like he can hit.
But not against Michael Soroka. The slider just too good tonight.
Follow our Sox insiders at NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at JeffVuk.com, because Nationwide is on your side. Started slowly, but we picked it up at the end.
Do you want me to still sing? I feel like I'm bringing you down.
No, we're saving it for Detroit. We're going to be at our best. I've always been able to sing well in Detroit. You know, Motown and all that. Lionel Richie. I mean, some really good writers and guys who could sing come out of Detroit. And we're not going to be two of them, but we're going to give it a shot.
Let's get it. You know, the other thing Michael Soroka has discovered since going in the bullpen is that he felt like early in the season as a starter, he was overthinking things. Trying to think about his scouting report, his game plan, how he was going to deal with guys second time through the order. Now coming out of the bullpen, he doesn't know how long he's in the game, so he just goes after guys, fires it, and you can see how good his stuff is.
Well, I think most pitchers have to realize that go to your strength before you go to the hitter's weakness. Because if his weakness is your weakness, it does you no good to go there. So wait until the hitter shows you that he can hit your strength, and then you can adjust after that.
Soroka has shown he can get the fastball by hitters here tonight, as he has stayed with the heat here to the catcher Matt Thaiss. Two. Oh, here we go. What you got? The Cleveland hat on. Can you get up to 80?
78's pretty good. If you take a running start, you should be able to pick up a few miles per hour.
Who was that one guy we saw get up to 90, but he was basically running down the concourse to get it?
Yeah, but that was a pretty good arm.
There it is, 81. See, he's pointing his friends.
Pretty good.
You got to get him a new hat, but other than that, he's doing great.
Yep. Got to get a Guardians hat. That's Chief Wahoo. Not going to work anymore.
And on the hands, popped up. Vaughn says, I got it. And there's out number 2 here in the 6th inning. Beat my guy. He got me by 1 mile per hour. And now I'm going to feel it all day tomorrow. It's like when you go to the carnival or you go to an amusement park and you just try to throw it as hard as you can, knock down bottles or every game it is, and you're feeling great, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then the next day, your arm feels like it's going to fall off.
We got a pinch hitter for Lopez.
Stefanik will come off the bench. Excuse me, that's Cavadas. Nico Cavadas is the pinch hitter for the Angels.
Cavadas has started a couple of games against the Sox. And this is the 5th time we've seen the Angels in a very short period of time.
Fastball missing up and away. 2-1 the count. Soroka has already picked up 3 strikeouts. And you see his ERA as a starter versus reliever. It's not his stuff. His stuff is good. He said it's all in his head. because he's blowing it by guys tonight.
Yeah, you can also lean back on that fastball when he needs a couple more miles an hour. It's a lot easier when you know you're not going to go much over 3 innings if you get to that point. It's not like a starting pitcher that feels if he's going good, he'll get 6 innings on a given night.
And the slider, 4th strikeout of the night for Michael Soroka.
Action, and Lenyn Sosa's having quite a night. He's got a double and he has one of these, a line drive homer, and he is abusing the baseball. A new pitcher in the game. It is Ryan Miller, on for the 11th time. His ERA up over 5. Suarez went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. Michael Stefanik comes in, play second base.
We knew he was coming in the game at some point.
Just about everybody else will be in this one, so he might as well give it a shot.
So Lenyn Sosa to start off this bottom of the 6th inning. And when Pedro Grifol was still here as the manager, they had a heart-to-heart conversation. It was around the 2nd time he was called up, and had to talk about just what it means to be a big leaguer, having this opportunity, and just being able to relax and know that you are supposed to be here. And that was the time that Lenyn really calmed down and had that confidence, knowing that he could deliver, didn't have to press when he was at the plate. And now we have seen him turn into a different player here these last month of the season.
And just even in the course of this year, we've seen him turn from a line drive to right center field guy to a guy that if you make a mistake, he can pull it out of the park. There's a lot of great hitters in this game that started out, and I'm not going to put Lenyn in that category. But Hank Aaron was an opposite field line drive hitter for a good portion of the early parts of his career and became, as we know, one of the great home run hitters of all time.
So they complete the strikeout down to first base. The White Sox Volunteer Corps, presented by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, serves as a way to unite White Sox fans through service opportunities within our community. Join the White Sox Volunteer Corps to serve shoulder to shoulder to make Chicago a better place to live, work, and play. To sign up, visit whitesox.com/volunteer corps. Little fans enjoying the ballpark here tonight. Even with the cool, crisp air. Still getting to enjoy the baseball here in the early days of the fall. That's a view right there. Just hang out.
Well, that was a good pitch. And Brian caught a break that had a good piece of the plate. And I think that
somebody has just been tossed.
Apparently they thought he had a good piece of the plate also.
Well, can read lips.
Yep.
Angels not happy.
Yep. I believe he said, "I'm terribly disappointed in that call, Edwin."
What are you doing later for dinner?
Then he gave him the heave-ho.
Two on the ground and just under the diving glove of Neto. So the White Sox catch a break. And what could have been called strike 3 turns into a single for Brian Ramos.
Yeah, I mean, you get a break, you got to take advantage of it. And this is a slider that didn't do much. Brian takes it right through the left side, hit off the glove of Neto, but he couldn't get there. And even if he does, you're not going to throw out Ramos at first base.
Corey with a 2-run home run and a walk tonight. Takes that slider inside. 2 balls, no strikes. There goes Ramos. They'll throw it out to second, and they got him.
That's one of the things we saw in Anaheim, was that O'Hoppe's got a very strong arm. This is a good jump. And the throw is right there. The tag put on. And Brian is cut down trying to steal. Gets him high on the thigh before the foot got in.
Talked about the development of Corey Lee this season. Seems like he has also aged a ton. He's just 26 years old, but mentally, all the information he has acquired this season by getting all those starts behind the plate sure helped his development.
The Abbott Chicago 5K returns October 12th. You can register at chicago5k.com/register, sponsored by Abbott. Life to the fullest.
Think about how many times we've seen even Corey Lee just take a walk out to the mound to his pitchers when there's 2 outs, nobody on base, and just one of those reminders to his guys, stay locked in, finish off this inning strong.
Well, we've seen it a number of times where a pitcher will get 2 outs. And it's psychological. They believe, okay, well, the toughest part of this inning is over. Next thing you know, guy gets on, maybe a base hit, maybe a walk, then you hit a guy, and before you know it, you're in trouble. Where what Corey is trying to explain to him is, okay, you're 2/3 of the way there. I need all your concentration to get this 3rd out.
Corey Lee had maybe a step lead.
Just what you're talking about happened in the 4th inning. O'Hoppe and Wagaman, 2 quick outs, and then a walk, hit batsman, base hit, before you know it, 2 runs come across when there were 2 outs and nobody on.
Little tricks that catchers have to pick up along the way that Corey Lee picked up from Martin Maldonado this season. 2 strikes the count here to Fletcher. Cold strike 3 to end this 6th inning. White Sox holding on to a 1-run lead. Optimize your 2025 season with the new 10-ticket all-access pack and get access to opening day and the Crosstown Series against the Cubs starting at only $224. You can pick the number of games and seats that work for your schedule. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/flexpack.
Daniel De Los Santos coming on. Those are his numbers with San Diego, the Yankees, and our Sox. He's appearing in his 62nd game, and apparently, and I know this is surprising, but we're having a pitch comm issue.
De Los Santos, a guy who was picked up after the Yankees DFA'd him. And the Sox feeling like he still had something left, and he has proved that he'll still be a valuable contributor out of the bullpen. We'll face the top of the order for the Angels and Taylor Ward. Ward drove in the 2 runs this game. A 2 RBI single in the 4th inning. As we take a look at the bullpen, first the Angels so far this season. Taylor Ward is a guy who has 2 years left of control on his contract. There was talks that they could potentially move him at the trade deadline. They did not. Slashes this one down the right field, and a sliding catch made by Dominic Fletcher, doing what he does in right field.
We know it's been a disappointing year for Dominic with the bat, but with the glove, he's just been outstanding. This is a sinking line drive. He gets to it, makes the catch. And when you're dealing with the top of the order, that's a big first out.
De Los Santos certainly appreciates the effort for Dominic Fletcher, who is not afraid to throw his body around in the outfield. And now a quick message from Duncan.
This baseball season, nothing hits like Duncan. Always a fan favorite. Swing in today. America runs on Duncan.
That one didn't miss Neto by much. He's had a very eventful evening. A couple of hits, a couple of pickoffs.
Fastball in there, strike two. With the count even at 2-2. Do we have time to hear the rest of that off-season work story? How you went around selling funerals to people who were alive?
Well, I know it's a bit morbid, but yeah, that was quite an interesting off-season.
So Alex McKay said Neto did not go around.
We'll look at it from the side. I think he checked it up. It's very close, but looks like he checked it up, and now trying to make amends for a couple early base running blunders. Neto still is a good base stealer.
Is that the kind of thing where you get a script, where you just have to figure it out on the fly?
Well, that's what I asked him. I didn't get that deep in, and he almost got picked off on the fly. That was very close at first base. De Los Santos has very quick feet. He got it there, and he tagged him just, I mean, it was really close, but they didn't get him.
Second at bat tonight for Brandon Drury. 0 for 1 with a flyout in the 5th inning.
Drury came in when Shawnuel bounced a ball off his own knee. They took a look at it and figured he's had enough.
Bullpen for the Sox took over in the 4th inning and has kept this game close with a 1-run lead here in the 7th inning. Check again, and another close play at first as Neto is back there.
The only problem now is there's 2 throws over there, and now if Neto wants to get a little bigger lead, very difficult to go over there a 3rd time, knowing if you don't get him, he's standing on second.
Up the middle and gets through into center field. Neto, who has speed, will easily get to 3rd. And the Angels now with runners on at the corners with one down.
It's a four-seam fastball. And Drury takes it right back through the middle. Neto with really great speed. Able to challenge Luis, and wisely he did not go to third, because that's baiting him to throw to third, and the trailer Drury would have gone to second base, where he would represent the go-ahead run, something you want to keep the double play in order by keeping him at first.
Kevin Pillar at the plate, backs away from that fastball, ball one. It's not one of those foul balls you want to try to catch barehanded when it goes high in the air and comes down hard.
Yeah, that one was way up there.
There he is coming away with it.
Yeah, but that wasn't on the fly. That one rattled around for a while, and he caught it right under the ice cream sundae.
I wasn't sure tonight was an ice cream kind of a night.
It's always a good night for ice cream.
That's true. That's true. Rainbow sprinkles.
I'm a Ben & Jerry's coffee buzz guy.
Coffee buzz.
Yeah. It'll change your life.
Yeah. I first got to find where they sell that. I've never heard of it.
Only in a commercial store. And you'll probably be up for a couple days, but you'll really like the ice cream.
So if I want to go out all night tonight and be ready for the day game tomorrow.
Yeah, get yourself some buzz.
All right. Two to Pillar. Slow roller. Toss to second. First double play turn. And the White Sox holding on to a one-run lead.
Pretty snappy double play. And it's out of the inning with the lead.
Back inside the booth, White Sox showing the fight all night. When the Angels tied the game in the top of the fourth, 2 runs. It was Lenin Sosa, a home run in the bottom half of the frame. 3-2 where we stand right now.
And that bullpen has made it hold up. So the bullpen that's been very good lately is very good tonight. And they keep that one-run lead into the late innings. And that double play is an example of when you're starting to play a little bit better, you get some breaks. If you're not playing really well, maybe hits a 3-run homer and you're down in the game. Gio Zuniga coming on for the 13th time. ERA a touch over 4.
Hit hard, but it's right at the shortstop Neto.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. Marquette Bank is Chicagoland's trusted neighborhood bank and home lender. So check out Marquette Bank at emarquettebank.com. Marquette Bank, love where you bank.
Top of the order, 4th at bat tonight for Miguel Vargas, who is 0 for 3. Back-to-back lineouts to the shortstop, 2 away.
Neto's going to probably go in and get that padding that catchers use, because those are 2 hot line drives hit right at him. 104 and 103 miles an hour on those 2 line drives.
Ooh. And think about the starter last night, Jack Kahanowitz, how many ground balls were hit to short to Neto. He's been a busy man defensively the first 2 games of the series. On the ground to third, and it just eats up Wagaman. Tried to backhand it on the short hop. And Luis Robert Jr. will end up at second base with 2 outs.
You could tell by his footwork as he approached the ball that he was between hops, trying to figure out how to get the hop that was best suited for him. And normally it's a short hop, but when he hesitated, he couldn't come in and smother it on the short hop. It was that hesitation that allowed him to play it on the long hop, and it goes as a 2-base hit. It's a tough play. He made it a little tougher, and Luis will take his 2nd double of the night.
The defense for the Angels these first 2 games of the series, allowing the Sox some opportunities.
And just about each and every time the Sox have taken advantage of it. This would be a big one to take advantage of. You get an insurance run or so later in the ball game.
Benintendi had this opportunity in the 8th inning last night. Ripped an RBI single to left field, making it 3-2 for the win.
Justin Anderson throwing in the pen.
To the count to Benintendi in the 7th inning. Talked about milestone numbers and stats guys are trying to get to. Both Benintendi and Vaughn, who's on deck, sit at 19 home runs on the season. You know they would love to end with at least 20. 1-2. Popped up on the infield. Neto will make the catch as the Sox strand the runner at second base. After 7, White Sox up 3-2.
Fans, show your team pride with White Sox checking and an official White Sox debit card. Only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more.
We got a new pitcher in the ball game, and it is Justin Anderson on for the 56th time. His ERA 4.30. Picked up a save last night.
To right, going in and wrench was Fletcher, but he had enough speed to get back and make the adjustment and make the catch. Play the Sox Split 50-50 raffle. It's presented by Wintrust for your chance to win big, and we're talking real big. Take a look at this current jackpot. We're approaching $145,000, and it's going to keep building through tomorrow. Fans who play early automatically enter to win daily prizes. You can get your raffle tickets at whitesox.com/SoxSplit. It is valid for Illinois residents 18 and over. As a reminder, it'll keep growing until the 9th inning tomorrow, when the winner will take home 50% of the jackpot.
Yeah, it's going to be in excess of $75,000.
The center field coming up strong, but it's going to hit the grass in front of Robert Jr. So Eric Wagaman will pick up his first hit tonight.
This one he gets off the end of the bat, and Luis comes out trying to make the play, and then realizing when he couldn't catch it, he's got to smother it. Watch what he does is he turns the glove over, make sure that he's able to at least bat the baseball forward and make sure that it's only a single.
Big swing and a miss on that high fastball. Strike one to the catcher, Matt Theis. He has walked in his last 2 plate appearances. Ooh. That caught a piece of home plate umpire Edwin Moscoso.
So Corey will give him some time. This one fouled off the bat right into the mask and the right arm of Moscoso.
Two. The White Sox, who are on the brink of making history, has made national news, but the Angels also are trying to avoid making history themselves tonight. They're 63-94. The most losses they have ever had in a single season in franchise record, 95. So this loss would tie it.
Frazier Eller throwing in the pen.
Two. Inside. So runners now. 2 on, 1 out in this 8th inning.
So now the question for Grady is, and it's answered, he's not going to go get him, but you got the left-hander up and you've got Campero swinging it from the left side. So for Ethan Katz, a long, slow walk to the mound.
Even though Justin Anderson's a big league pitcher, he can always say he got a hit off one of the all-time greats in the game, Roger Clemens.
That's pretty good.
Grew up in Houston, played ball with Clemens' son, Casey, and when they were 8 years old, Roger Clemens was the pitcher on the mound and got a hit.
Well, he's lucky Roger didn't hit him after that. Been known to occasionally throw one inside. I want to ask Mike Piazza about that.
I think he went a little easier on 8-year-olds.
Maybe. But Roger was a pretty fierce competitor.
Yes, he was. Got it right on the corner. Strike one to the right fielder, Gustavo Campero.
That was right into the Angels dugout, so hopefully everybody's okay down there.
Campero was hit by a pitch and he would score in that 4th inning where the Angels scored their 2 runs. They'll deliver this one into center field. They are going to hold the runner Wagaman at 3rd, as they're not going to take any chances with 1 out.
It's a 4-seam fastball. It's up and out over the plate. So the first hit of the night for Campero, and that'll load him up.
Here's Stefanik. Slider in there, 1-1 the count.
Good slider, breaking late. Buckled the knees of Stefanik.
Here comes the pull. The play to plate, no. As Vaughn was charging, there's no one covering the bag at first, and the Angels manufacture a run and tie this game in the 8th.
Well, on that play, when you see the guy squaring around, and as soon as you see Vaughn take the first step, that's when Sosa has to cover first base. But the way the defense was, there was no chance at all for Amaya to get to second. So they tie it up, and the bases remain loaded.
Steve, the runners were off with the pitch on that one.
You look at it again.
Look at this. They're off.
Yeah, this is not a safety squeeze. This is a suicide squeeze. And no chance to get anybody anywhere. So Ron Washington with the surprise party.
Bases stay loaded with 1 out. 1-2 pitch here to Ward. Good stop by Corey Lee.
It's a nice play by Corey. Gets the knuckle curveball. And he makes sure that he brings the glove up because he knows it bounced in front of him. It's going to bounce up high. He was able to block it.
On the ground, Vargas goes to second for one, over to first. Got him! Double play turn. She's fired up.
This saves the tie. A double play and out of the inning. Got a new pitcher in the ball game. It is Brock Burke on for the 33rd time. His ERA above 5.5. So he comes in a tie ball game as the Sox look for at least one.
Four, 5, 6 coming to the plate for the Sox in this 8th inning. As we have a new ball game, all tied at 3 apiece. But we thought the regular season was going to end this weekend on Sunday. But because of the inclement weather coming through the South, Major League Baseball has announced today that the Braves-Mets series that was supposed to be played tonight and tomorrow will actually be postponed until Monday. They'll have a doubleheader in anticipation of the storm that is coming through.
And that one has great postseason ramifications.
The regular season for everyone else will end Sunday. And then how about that, a doubleheader Monday. The Mets and the Braves. Wagaman makes the snag at third and the long throw to get the out of Vaughn. Let's go back to the studio and check in with Chuck, Ozzie, and Scott. Can only hope as Sosa's at the plate, 2 for 3, a double and a home run tonight.
Both Sox have 5 more at bats. Angels have 3 more at bats.
Sox with 4 more bats now with the strikeout to Lenyn Sosa.
This one had great movement on it. As you can see, it's a changeup. That's one of the ways the game has changed. You're seeing 90, 91, 92 mile-an-hour changeups these days. Wegman's playing over toward the line in a no double set. Doesn't want anything to get between him and the bag.
Charges this one. The Sox retired in order. We go to the 9th, tied at 3 apiece. It has been an interesting ball game so far. Corey Lee with a 2-run home run in the second inning got the scoring started 2-0.
And then Taylor Ward dumps this ball into right center, and that ties the game at 2.
Lenyn Sosa in the 4th inning launched his 7th home run of the season, making it 3-2 Sox on top.
Then a suicide squeeze ties it up. Nobody covering first, but a double play gets out of the inning, and we've got ourselves a 3-3 tie. Frazier Ellard comes in the ball game. He's up for the 23rd time, ERA of 3.38.
Fastball missing outside to Zach Neto. 2-0 the count here to start this 9th inning. Neto has been on base 3 times tonight. Single, double, and a walk.
Highest batting average against left-handers. As you can see, there's some pretty big names on that list. And Neto is right at the top. This becomes a key man of the inning because there's nobody out. He's probably the best base stealer on this team.
Pulls it up high into the upper deck. 30 stolen bases on the season for Zach Neto to lead the Angels. As Ellard wants to go after him here with this 2-2. And he gets him with the changeup. Strike 3.
Big first out. He has him swinging on top of the baseball. You can see the grip. Neto swinging at the motion as opposed to the baseball, goes down on strikes. That is a good straight change.
How big was that ouch?
Yeah, that was the biggest one of the inning.
Slider in there to Brandon Drury. On the ground. Amaya, looking smooth as he always does, out number 2.
Bottom of the 9th inning is going to see Ramos, who made the last out. Going to see Lee, Fletcher, and Amaya. If anybody gets on, Vargas.
Frazier Ellard has been pumping strikes here in this 9th inning. Big one here to Kevin Pillar. Frazier Ellard nicely done in this 9th inning. Sox with a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 9th. Corey Lee sends this one deep to left field, and it is gone. Cue the fireworks. Lanine living the dream, Sosa.
And there's one guy that is going to hate to see this season end, and that's Lanine Sosa.
Sliding catch made by Dominic Fletcher.
With the glove, he's just been outstanding.
White Sox setting themselves up here in this bottom of the 9th with a chance to walk it off, tied at 3.
A dramatic win in the offing as Ryan Zefferjohn comes on for the 11th time. His ERA a touch below 2.5.
Corey Lee already with 1 home run tonight. Will he be the hero in the 9th? Hits this one hard into left field. Corey Lee takes a look at the ball, takes a big turn, and will put on the brakes. A single to start this bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, Wagaman was playing a no doubles defense, so he's over toward the line. You see him there because normally he's got a shot at this ball, but not playing the no double set. So he took away the double. However, that's the winning run on first base. And that's usually on instructions from the dugout, so that wasn't a decision he was making himself.
There goes Corey Lee. Hit and run was on. Corey Lee with it popped up has to race back to first. And there's one away.
Heads up base running by Corey Lee. He picked up the baseball, which is what you have to do on a hit and run. You've got to look back for contact. Once you pick up the ball, in this case, you know it's not leaving the infield. You got to get back. He gets back rather easily. And Gavin Sheets is going to come out. That's going to send Theis to the mound to have a talk and a scouting report about Gavin Sheets.
Gavin has been one of those guys who is always available in his locker in the clubhouse. Whenever the media come around for the tough questions on a tough night after a tough loss, he has always been the one to speak up for the team. This would be a big moment for him late here in the season.
That's one of the things that all teams need. Some teams have an abundance, and that's leadership in the clubhouse.
First pitch here to Gavin. Cutter's in there, strike one.
The outfield playing back about 5 steps or so in another no double set.
Chased one low out of the zone, and it's 0-2. Release at first with 1 out in this bottom of the 9th inning. Swings over the top of that cutter, strike 3.
Two breakies in a row, and the second of which dispatched Gavin Sheets. 2 good pitches.
It's now up to Miguel Vargas, top of the lineup with 2 outs. High throw.
That one caroms off the wall, goes into right field. That could have easily seen Corey Lee at third base. Drury goes up and for the moment might have saved the game.
Ball 1 strike the count to Miguel Vargas. Last night, the White Sox trying to pick up a win here tonight and win this 3-game series against the Angels. 1-2. The Angels picking up 2 of 3 in their series on the West Coast in Anaheim last week. Fly ball to right center. And Pilar with the catch. And we go to extra innings, all tied at 3.
Comes out for the 38th time. His ERA 4.35. He'll inherit the ghost runner at second base. Trying to get out of this 10th inning. Nicky Lopez checks in the game at shortstop. And there is Kevin Pillar. He is the ghost runner, making the third out on a ground ball to third base in the top of the 9th inning.
So we've seen teams use a lot of different strategies in extra innings with that ghost runner at second. Angels have already manufactured a run. Let's see if they decide to try to bunt. So Hoppy's swinging away. Strike one. Nice changeup from Schuster, pulling the string. It's 0-2.
I like the bunt when you're at home. I don't like the bunt when you're a road team.
Okay.
Because you might have to score more than one. And that bunt might get you that one run, but if that's all you get, it's not that difficult for the home team then to score at least one.
Schuster is the 6th pitcher for the White Sox used here tonight. Here's his 2-2. Here in this 10th inning. It's 2 on with nobody out.
Wegman with a long look down to third base. See if Ron Washington in this situation with 2 on and nobody out wants that bunt, and if he does, it'll be to third base.
Washington dialing up that suicide squeeze, bases loaded in the 8th inning that tied this game at 3. Did not miss by much.
No, that's close, but again, I think Edwin Moscoso's had a very good night behind the plate.
Ground to short. Nicky Lopez in the game, and they turn the double play.
That was a tough hop for Nicky because he was retreating as Ron Washington wants to see the play at first. It looked to me in real time like he got him. This is a tough play for Nicky. He has to defend against the baseball coming up toward his face. And Lenine with a good solid throw across the diamond, and they got him. So it moves a runner to third, but now there's 2 outs in the inning. Just a fine play by Nicky, just recently inserted in the game.
How about that one to test you when you come in defensively at short?
Well, Nicky's a lifetime shortstop. I mean, he's a real good middle infielder, and it doesn't matter where you play him. And he's laughing at that one because that one bounced up with a lot of overspin. It came at him with intentions not to be caught.
Popped him up to left field. And Benintendi with a grab. Jared Schuster keeps the Angels off the board in the 10th inning.
Double plays in the last 4 innings, and none tougher than this. Nicky Lopez on the retreat. Gets the ball to Sosa just in time. Lenine with a very strong arm, able to make the play and get it across. Big inning as the Sox come away without giving up a run, and now the winning run at second base. Jose Quijada comes on for the 21st time with an ERA under 2. We saw him in Anaheim. He had a hard time getting the ball over the plate. Miguel Vargas represents the winning run.
So now, if you're the Sox, do you bunt here?
With Robert, I mean, it's a good thought. I'm not sure how many times Luis Robert has been bunting. You just don't want him to pop up the baseball. So sometimes when a manager makes a move, it's not necessarily the move that's the best at the time. It's the move that you think the player is going to be able to execute. And for Luis, he didn't bunt too much.
First 2 missing up out of the zone.
Quijada had problems with strike throwing in Southern California. Let's see if it carries over here.
Luis Robert Jr.'s 2 for 4 tonight. Both hits doubles. And a count now 2-2. Luis Robert Jr. is one of those guys who is very soft-spoken, does not speak up much in the clubhouse, but when he does, other guys listen, and it carries weight. And Grady Sizemore talked about it before the game. He is one of those quiet leaders that leads by example. But he does this 3-2, and he strikes out with a fastball for the first out in this bottom of the 10th.
High fastball away. It is in the strike zone. Not a productive at bat. Luis knows it.
Well, the 2 walk-offs this season for the White Sox. This is the guy at the plate.
Now this would be a radical move. I don't see any reason not to walk him here. He's been the hottest hitter on this ball club, and we'll see if he can deliver again.
So Theis wants to have a conversation with Jose Quijada, knowing that Benintendi loves the ball up. And Quijada has been missing up with his fastball so far in this 10th inning.
In these days, and I'm talking about the last 2 months, when you make a mistake on Andrew, it's usually very costly.
Benintendi with a good rip. This one's going to fall. Vargas rounding third, coming home, and walk it off. It off. White Sox with a win in the 10th. Take that, history.
Andrew Benintendi delivers once again. Ron Washington decides not to walk him, and it cost him this particular ball game. So the Sox in extras win one. And it'll carry over to tomorrow at 120. We're not playing at 120. It's 120 losses. It'll still be that way tomorrow after this win here tonight.
The Sox win the first 2 of this 3-game series with 4 games left in the regular season.
It's pretty amazing, as hot as Andrew Benintendi has been.